We're
Yeah, there you go.
strategizing. We're trying to build wealth for our kids too.
Generational wealth. That's what I'm talking about.
Generational wealth. Yes. For anybody watching with a small business or about to start a small business and have children, and for me, because I have some kids that I need to put to work. Hi guys, welcome to Live Life with Jay. Today we have a special guest, Grant from Dougherty Tax Solutions. I said it right.
Hey Jay. Hey, thank you for having me on. You know, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to talk money and talk tax savings.
I love talking money. So
I like making money too. You know, I like to talk about money. And I like to make money also.
That's good. So tell everyone, our viewers, who you are, what you do, and what you got.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Grant Dougherty. I was born and raised here in the Houston, Texas area. I went to school. I studied finance and accounting while I was in school. I was also a baseball player. You know, a lot of people don't even realize that. So I was able to actually get out of school without any debt, which was a big plus for me. Actually went on to get my MBA from the same school, started my business straight out of college. And at the same time, I was balancing a day job, working as a financial analyst at a Fortune 500 company. And, you know, as I was building my business, I went and got my enrolled agency license. And now 5 years later, here I am, working with different business owners, working to get their minimize their tax liability, and just enjoying life.
That's awesome. Where can people find you? For like social media or websites or anything like that?
Yeah, I have an Instagram. You can follow me at Dougherty Tax Solutions on Instagram. I also have a Twitter. You can follow me at Doe Tax Solutions. Twitter didn't let me put the whole Dougherty in there for some reason, so it's just Doe Tax Solutions on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, Dougherty Tax Solutions for there, and I'm also on LinkedIn as well, but just under my actual name, Grant Dougherty.
Okay, and I'm gonna put that all below so that everyone can see. And I'm taking your socials now because we're gonna start on this subject, and it's gonna be so good that people are gonna want to follow you.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Right? It's gonna be so good. So one of the things that I've noticed that you share is that for people my target market is families, and a lot of these families are working on their budget. They're working to debt payoff, and in the process, they're like, okay, let me get a side hustle or a small business. And they're taking advantage and paying off their debt with it. But what they don't know is that they can hire their kids.
That is correct.
To work for them. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, no, hiring your children, business owners, especially, family-owned businesses, hiring your children is one of the ultimate tax hacks, wealth hacks out there. Not only do you get to keep the money in the family, but one of the most obvious and first things that you notice is that you can shift income from your high tax bracket down into your children's lower tax bracket. So I think the current maximum rate is 37%. If you are in that 37% tax bracket and you can shift that income from 37% down to 10%, you can save yourself thousands of dollars depending on how much you shift. Another thing that is so beneficial on why business owners hire their children, most people don't realize anyone who goes out into the workforce, whether you're self-employed or you are a W-2 employee, you owe Social Security and Medicare taxes on your wages, okay? But if you are under the age of 18, you actually do not have to you don't have to pay any Social Security or Medicare taxes on your wages, right? Currently, that is 15.3% of your total wages. So just by shifting that money from your high tax bracket down to a lower tax bracket, you're also avoiding 15.3% self-employment, and it's considered self-employment tax, but it's known as Social Security and Medicare taxes. The combo of these taxes has several different names across the industry. It's known as self-employment tax, payroll tax, FICA taxes. They all are the exact same thing. But yeah, no, those are the two. You know, if I had to start with one, you know, big benefit, it's these business owners. They can shift income from their high tax bracket to a lower tax bracket and avoid FICA taxes all at the same time. Now, you can take this initial strategy and you can expand it. So, for example, a lot of business owners, you know, before they start focusing on, you know, shifting income to their children, they focus on their personal tax situation. A lot of business owners, you know, they'll structure their business to be taxed as an S corporation. All right. What a lot of people don't realize is that if you are a child, no matter your age, if you're under 18 and you work for a corporation, you must have the Social Security and Medicare taxes withheld from your pay. So if you are a business owner and you have an S corporation, you are almost defeating the purpose of hiring your children if you hire them under your S corporation, right? So what you would do is you'd have to get a little creative with your structure. You know, so you have your S corporation, but then you can create a second structure, a family managed company, and you can just keep it as a sole proprietorship, an LLC, and hire your kids under this family managed company. And what's going to happen is that the S corporation will outsource work to the family managed company where your children are working. They will provide the work. The family managed company will then pay the children. And since the children are not employed with a corporation, their wages are still avoiding the Social Security and Medicare taxes while you still retain your S corporation election and have your tax incentives that way. I hope that makes sense. You know, that was, you know, a lot of tax.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, no, it was a lot.
So I'm going to rewind a little bit because it is a lot. But when it comes to taxes, I feel like it's a whole new language, right? And we're just like, wait, what? So when you're telling people they can shift from 37% to 10%, explain that like if I was a child. Like, what do you mean when you say that?
Right. So the way how our tax system set up, it is set up as like a progressive system. So the more money you make, the more you are taxed on that income. So let's say, you know, you make $100,000, and just for simplicity reasons, we won't, you know, work with the brackets, but let's just say your whole $100,000 is going to be taxed at 37%, right?
Okay.
That is $37,000 in taxes that you would owe on that $100,000. Now, if you can take that $100,000 and shift it to a lower income at maybe 10%, then 10% of 100,000 is $10,000. That right there is $27,000 difference. Now, of course, this is a very exaggerated example. It doesn't work like this, you know, in reality. But that's the general idea, is that you're taking this income that would be taxed at a higher tax bracket and you just shift it, and now you're being taxed at either 10% or 12% or whatever tax bracket your children may be in.
So you kind of are decreasing my total amount, right? Because I'm paying my children.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So let's say I know like the if I'm not mistaken, is it like 12,000 a child?
Yeah, so you bring up a good point. So what you're talking about is the standard deduction. So if you earn a wage that is below the standard deduction for the year, then you won't owe any federal income tax on your wages. Now, this doesn't always apply for state taxes. Every state is different, and so you may not be able to avoid state taxes per se, but on a federal level, as long as your children are paid below the standard deduction for the year, which I think for 2021 is $12,550, I think. They won't owe any federal income tax.
So with the $12,550, I have two kids. So let's say I do 12,000 each one. So that's 24,000 coming off of my 100,000. Is that
Yes.
how I'm looking at it? And because
That is
of
how
that, my tax bracket will go down.
Yes. That was said perfectly.
Okay. Thank you. I'm making sure I understand at the same time too.
Yeah, no, most definitely. If I say
Now,
anything that you need clarification on, just let me know.
no, this is great. So let's just use me for an example. I don't have an S corp. I have an LLC. So
Okay.
how would that change since it's not an S corp?
Oh, so since you don't have an S corporation, you can just hire your children directly to your LLC. All right.
Okay.
As long as you are the sole owner of the business, then you don't have any restrictions. Now, if you have a partnership and your partnership is someone outside of your family, generally it should only be like a husband and wife, or it should be two spouses. But if you have like a partnership with like your friend, then they cannot actually receive these tax benefits, these tax incentives.
Okay. And so I had a couple people tell me, even though I'm an LLC, I should still file my taxes as an S corp. But if I do that, would that affect if I hire my kids?
So if you decide to elect to have your company taxed as an S corporation, you can still hire your kids to your S corporation, but the strategy of avoiding that 15.3% of the Social Security and Medicare taxes goes away with that S corporation. If you have an S corporation for your business, you'll want to go and create a second entity like an LLC that is separate from your S corporation, and you would hire them under this LLC, and the S corporation would just outsource work to the LLC.
Okay, it's kind of like, would it be like two different businesses? Yeah.
It would be like two different businesses. Yeah.
Okay, that is good stuff. I like that. Now, for people who are interested and who want to know, if you hire your child, can you still claim them as a dependent?
Oh, that's a great question. I get asked that all the time. So yes, if you hire your children to work for your business, can I still claim the earned income tax credit? Can I still claim my child as a dependent and get the child tax credit? Yes. If you have your children and you hire them to work for your business, you may still claim them as a dependent. And if you qualify for the earned income tax credit, you may still also claim that. And one other little piece of tax planning, just a little taste of some of the things of how tax professionals think. There are tax credits for college students. So whenever your children grow up to be a little bit older, and maybe they go over the age of 18 and they don't get those incentives of avoiding the FICA taxes, and now they're about to go off to college, well, you can pay them enough money to pay their own expenses at college, and they can apply for the different college tax credits that are available to them. And, there's a whole bunch of tax savings that go into that as well.
So it's a lot of tax stuff to know. Man, we need to get your book, right?
Oh, you know what? If you guys haven't, definitely go check it out. I go over a bunch of different things in the book, structure, tax deductions, tax credits. One of the funny little strategies that I talk about in there is most people don't realize they can go back 3 years on their tax return and get it amended and potentially get a refund from any missed deductions or missed tax credits from previous years. Especially with 2020, all the tax credits that have been available to different business owners, for COVID specifically. I've just been, 2020 has just been a crazy year. Almost every person whose tax return I analyze, I spot something that they can go back and fix and get more money.
Okay, so you offer one-on-one services as well?
I do.
Okay, that's good to know. We're going to put all that in here just in case.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
I did want to go back. I did have another question in terms of the when you claim your child, right? Now, what happens to that money that they earn? Does that go on your taxes as well? Do they have to do taxes? Like, how does that work?
Great question. Yeah. So your children will have to file their own tax return at the end of the year. That is a must. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people don't even realize that is also a thing. Your children must file their own tax return at the end of the year.
Okay, that's good to know. That is really good to know. Now, is there an age range that you recommend, or that is like specific of how old they should be working?
Another great question. This I think is general advice. I've seen it work for others. I've seen it not work for other people. But generally, I like to tell people, wait until your children are like 8, 9, 10 years old before they can really start doing serious work around the office. Or, I generally try to get my clients to get their children to do their bookkeeping because it's not overly difficult and you can pay them a lot of money for doing this. Now, I have run across business owners that hire their children literally as soon as they come out of the womb, and they start taking pictures of them and they say that they're a model. Okay. Does that work? It can. Make sure you pay them a reasonable wage. I've seen some people abuse this loophole, and then I've seen other people play by the rules. I think if you are going to take that route and try to hire your children on his payroll as soon as they come out of the womb, make sure you play by the rules. Go on to salary.com, do your research, and find out what the competition is charging for what you are having your children do, whether it be child modeling or bookkeeping or cleaning up the office, whatever the situation is.
Okay, that's good. This is great information. Is there any other advice that you would like to give to the people watching specifically for this, or maybe just what you talk about in general with your tax strategies?
If I had to say one last thing, we've done all this planning to get your children on the payroll. We're going to reduce the amount of taxes that we pay while doing it. We're going to get this tax-free money, blah, blah, blah. So much fun. But let's put that money to use. Let's go ahead and open up your children a Roth IRA, like with a custodial IRA or something, and go ahead and plant that seed, and let it grow so that they can have generational wealth whenever they get older. If I had to go ahead and put the cherry on top, that would be the cherry on top, is go ahead, get them a Roth IRA now that they have earned income, and max it out the best that you can.
Okay. Now, is that like your preference versus any other thing, like a custodial brokerage or a 529?
I think that depends on the person and their situation. 529s are great vehicles, but there's always that risk that they don't go to college.
Right.
So you're taking a gamble with that. I've heard some other people talking about UTMAs or UGMAs. Great options, but you're going to be taxed at every level. It all depends on what your personal goals are for your family.
Okay. So it sounds like if they're earning an income, they should definitely do a Roth. And then maybe if they have like money on the side, like savings and things like that, they can probably use the other accounts as an option.
That sounds like a strategy to me.
Is it? Yeah. We're strategizing. We're trying to build wealth for our kids too.
Generational wealth. That's what I'm talking about.
Generational wealth. Yes. This was a great. Thank you so much, Grant. This is so much great information for anybody watching with a small business or about to start a small business and have children. And for me, because I have some kids that I need to put to work.
Yeah. Again.
Share your socials one more time, and also your book.
Okay, yeah. So my Instagram is Dougherty Tax Solutions. All right. My Twitter is Doe Tax Solutions. My Facebook, Dougherty Tax Solutions, LinkedIn, Grant Dougherty. And if you want to check out my book, the easiest way is to go to either my Instagram or my Twitter and click the link in my bio. And it is Tax Strategies You Can't Find on Google. It's been a big hit online, and I've heard a lot of great feedback from it.
Yes, and I think I'm going to go head over there myself.
Shoot me a DM before you do. I can give you a nice little discount for it.
Great. Thank you so much. For those of you who are interested, he's not only about small businesses, it's taxes in general, right? All tax strategies. Check it out. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you so much, Grant, again. This was amazing.
No, thank you for having me, Jay. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching my interview with Grant. It's amazing, the little things that we should know that we can do. It's great to know that if you do have a small business and you're looking for some tax strategies or some tax tips, that we can hire our kids to work for us, and it's legal, 100% legal. Check him out at his Instagram and follow up, because he gives so much great advice. I highly recommend it. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us today. If this is not your first time here, thank you for watching again. If you are enjoying the content, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment. If you have any questions, feel free to ask anything. Feel free to comment. And check me out as well. I'm on Instagram at Narvaez, J_Narvaez, where I connect more with people. And that's it. Thanks for joining Live Life with Jay. Bye.